So if you are an FE lead and you're constantly going and repressing your FI and putting that into your unconscious, saying, I don't need to look at that. That's not really that important. And I'm going to make sure that everything else and everybody else is taken care of. And that doesn't mean that you aren't still collecting that information. That doesn't mean that you don't have your own feelings. You don't have your own wants and your own desires. It's that you simply put them aside and you push them down and say those aren't as important as this, as the FE. Now, that doesn't mean that those aren't things that you're feeling. They aren't getting absorbed into your psyche, that they don't come out sometimes and go, but I really wanted to do that and I'm really upset. But I'm going to do what I always do and I'm going to push them down. That's not the right thing to do. And that's one of the things Carl Jung talked about, is that pushing down those feelings, having them repressed, that there's almost a feeling of disgust when looking at them, when considering them. So that person who's putting aside that FI, when they see other people using their FI, there may be a feeling of disgust and going, that's so wrong. To sit there and put your own wants and desires above other people, that's wrong. And you know what? Whenever I get the feeling that I want to use my FI, I have my own disgust at myself and go, that's so wrong. I shouldn't think like that. That's the wrong thing to do, because that goes against our ego and the information that we have determined is the truth. That's the right way to see the world. So they even see their own FI and go, oh, that's what a terrible thing. What a terrible thing to do, that I even thought that. And again, they'll see others who do use that and say, you're wrong. I'm kind of disgusted by the way that you act, that you don't see the FE. Now, that doesn't mean that FI is just kind of floating there very calmly, not collecting information. The more that they repress it and they go, I'm not going to say anything, I don't want to upset people, and they keep repressing that doesn't mean that FI information isn't building up. Of course it is. Of course they have that. And if there's something important enough, a belief that they have, a want or a desire, it keeps building up. And maybe even to them, maybe they don't see that unconscious function building up. They're so blind to it and push it away so much that they aren't looking at it, and it's building up. It is causing resentments, it is causing anger, and one day it finally bursts through and comes through from the unconscious into the conscious, and suddenly the person explodes and go, you know what? Maybe I want to do the things I want to do. Maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe you should do what I want to do sometimes. And of course, the person who's on the receiving end of this is like, where is this coming from? You've never said anything, right? Because the person was shoving it down, repressing it. And so when it finally does explode, the person themselves might be surprised by how much they feel in that moment and how explosive it is. And they may be surprised that it's come out so big to them as well. And the person's like, where is this coming from? They're like, I've always felt this way. I've always wanted to say this. I just didn't.